Do you stay up late? Do you get heart palpitations? Has your hair started falling out? Do you never see your friends anymore? Are you an architecture student? Well, welcome. How you doing? My name's Anna, and today I'm going to talk to you about the side effects of being an architecture student. Before we bring the mood down, hit it. Disclaimer, this video is based on my personal experiences and observations over the past 10 years studying in England and does not represent the overall views of the architecture community. I am aware of my own personal bias on this subject due to many years of unpleasant experiences, which is why I'm taking this video from a more personal perspective rather than a specifically statistical narrative. For more detailed information, there's an excellent paper titled Mental Health in UK Architecture Education, an Analysis of Contemporary Student Wellbeing, written by David McClean, Peter Holgate, and Lyndsay Bloice, if you want to read a more researched analysis of this subject. The paper also has an entire table of mental health support services at each of the RIBA validated schools. The link to the paper can be found in the description below. I'm not sure if the university support networks mentioned in the paper have remained available during the pandemic, because this paper was published in February 2020, just before COVID hit the United Kingdom. I would be interested to hear from students currently studying how their experience with mental health and their architecture course have been affected or exacerbated during quarantine. In general, there's been a lack of data, consistency, and reliability in past research, due to most cases of mental health conditions being self-reported. If you're watching this video prior to embarking on an architecture course, then buckle up. I will try and make it as fun and entertaining as possible. I'm not making this video to scare you, but I feel architecture is put on a pedestal sometimes, and the reality is very different from what many imagine. So I'm here to share my experiences and suggestions with you so you can make a more informed decision. And if you're in the middle of your course or finished long ago, you may relate to some of these side effects, and you are not alone. Alright, time for some real talk. Potential trigger warning for any of you guys trying to block out these memories. An architecture degree is hard, and not just because of all the work, but because of all of the side effects that come along with doing an architecture degree. I wrote an essay in 2017 titled, "Is Architecture Education in England Working?" I used the Architects Journal Annual Student Survey from 2016 as a reference. It was one of the largest scale architecture student surveys available at the time in England. It showed more than a quarter of students had reported receiving support for mental health difficulties resulting from their studies, and further expected they would likely need support in the future. This was a cause for concern at the time and is still worth discussing now. So this encompasses a architecture student survival guide and the essay that I wrote back in 2017. I tried to write about the symptoms of being an architecture student in a fun and upbeat way to make the situation generally less depressing. With the essay, I also included an architecture student simulator box, so it had a few items that the examiner tutor was meant to use to experience some of the side effects that I talk about. Side effect number 1, blurred eyesight. I'm just gonna read it for you guys. I invite you to try and wear the sleep deprivation glasses included in the architecture student simulation box for greater understanding of a student going more than 36 hours without sleep. Try to read this manifesto with the glasses on. You may need to hold the paper close to your face to see clearly. Headaches are a common side effect of sleep deprivation and can be experienced soon after putting the glasses on. I included really high prescription glasses for them to wear. Number 2, hallucinations. Not actually mushrooms. Not actually mushrooms. Just sleep deprivation hallucination. Hallucinations. Lack of sleep, stress, and anxiety can all lead to hallucinations, as well as drugs, but don't take drugs. Drugs are bad. Magic mushrooms are a perfect way to simulate this side effect for life as an architecture student. Magic mushrooms included in simulation box. They weren't actually. I actually just took mushrooms and put glitter on top and then wrote, "Do not eat. This is not edible." It was meant to be a joke. Hair loss. I did used to wear hats a lot when my head would get cold because clumps of hair would fall out. Lack of sleep, poor diet, and stress all contribute to hair loss and are all a part of life as an architecture student. By the way, I'm not a doctor. These are just side effects that affected me. Nair is a form of hair remover, and if you dare to simulate this side effect, some is included in the simulation box. I'm pretty sure none of my tutors used the Nair. Weight gain. Also, weight gain's not a problem, but if it's unexpected, it can be a little bit of a surprise. Weight gain. With financial issues cited as a main source of stress for architecture students, money towards healthy food and exercise isn't put first. Weight gain can lead to more stress and deeper depression for those suffering. Could also cause antisocial behavior and loneliness. Sadly. Acne. Also nothing wrong with acne, but is a side effect. Caused by poor diet, strange sleep habits, stress, and hygiene issues. Also, you may just have natural acne, and that's fine too. You may not have the time or energy to wash your bedding or pillowcase every 2 weeks. Personal hygiene can take a back seat when one is stressed with university work. I personally know people that just stopped showering because of work. Malnutrition. As a student in between loans, sometimes all you can afford are instant noodles. Your body will start to show signs of damage when you go without a nutrient-rich diet. But if you can't afford a diet like that, what's the alternative? Vitamins. Heart palpitations. When you're pulling all-nighters back to back to back, some very disturbing symptoms can start to occur. With a lack of healthy food and an overabundance of caffeine, your body may signal you to stop what you're doing. Whether you, as a student, take heed to your body's warning is another story. Fatigue. Lack of energy can be associated with depression and unhealthy patterns. In some architecture institutions, unhealthy behavior is encouraged and even celebrated, without regard to the psychological and long-term impacts of pushing your body and mind to the limit. Another more visual side effect is that as an architecture student, you may start to wear more black and gray. It's actually very common, and a little bit of a running joke in the profession. I also included a fun section of satirical survival items. Super comfy pillow, not used for sleeping on, instead used for sitting on during the many hours you will be sat in front of your computer doing mindless CAD work, renders, photoshopping, and or InDesign layouts. Ooh, pen and boxes. What could this one be? Congratulations, you started a new degree. Get ready to start checking a lot of boxes to get past the system. Communication. Communication is key. A phone used to contact all of your friends and family you are either too busy or broke to spend time with or visit. It's classic. Ooh, vitamins. This is actually a good one. For all the healthy nutritional food you can't afford, vitamins are worthwhile to make up for the imbalance in your diet. Music. Some great tunes to get you through all of your hours of work are a lifesaver. Listen to some music to stop you going mad from the sound of repetitive clicking at your computer. When you're singing aloud in public and slurring your words, it may be time for a break. Makeup. Used to cover up acne from stress and dark circles under your eyes from lack of sleep. Also, you don't need makeup, you're beautiful. Used to make you resemble a real person instead of the zombie-like creature you see before you in the mirror. Who am I? Earplugs. To be used to drown out all of the mixed advice you may receive from your tutor and stick to what you think is right. When you're told to change your idea a dozen times only to return to the first idea by the end, the concept of earplugs could have been useful. Zipper. What could a zipper be for? To know when to keep your mouth shut and take the criticism being flung at you, even after they are ripping your project to shreds after advising you to design it just like that. Nunchucks. Unlike a zipper, nunchucks would be used to defend your idea in a crit to the death, no matter what your tutor or guest tutor may say. May the force be with you. Tissues. Used for illness or flu from overworking yourself, may also include several visits to your GP with symptoms stemming from the stress of your course. Be advised, your GP may ignore your overall issue and fill you a prescription instead. Or to wipe away your tears after leaving a crit to cry in the bathroom. True story. On multiple occasions. And most importantly, a sense of humor. Imagine all of your leftover money for fun, activities, and a social life. Now imagine being a student and having an empty wallet with no extra funds for fun. You have to keep your sense of humor when things get difficult, be able to laugh at your misery. #architecture. I also created an advisory section on necessary liquids. Water. Stay hydrated for the many sleepless nights ahead. Water will help reduce stress, headaches, skin problems, lightheadedness, heartache, fatigue, and hunger because, as you know, you can't afford to be hungry. Chamomile tea. Decaffeinated to calm your nerves. Drink to reduce stress shakes and heart palpitations. Other caffeinated tea will give you a more even amount of energy over long periods of time than coffee. 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 To stay awake longer and stronger than tea. Like a healthy diet of fiber, coffee will also help purge your body. If you know what I mean. Energy drink. Not one I personally partook in. Energy drink. When coffee just won't cut it and your deadlines are drawing near, Beware of the side effects and ultimate crash at the end. Beer? Whether it was a hard day's work or nothing at all, have a beer. It helps. Adults only. Hard liquor. Also, I'm not advising binge drinking, even if it is common in the architecture profession. When you've had a beer and your inner party animal is released, go for hard liquor. To celebrate your success or forget your failure, for good times or bad, preferably with friends but not opposed to alone. Warning, do not try model making after drinking. Drink responsibly. Please take this advice with a grain of salt. It is meant to be humorous and not actually, specifically, advice that you should take. The finish line! That's me! Congratulations! You've made it to the end of your bachelor's degree in architecture. Time to celebrate? Not quite. Time to look for a part 1 year out job and face the next 4 to 6 years working hard in and out of practice. Until after a total of 7 to 10 years from start to finish, you will finally, maybe, become a certified architect. Even then, you'll be forced to work overtime for low pay in a competitive job market with limited security. But at least you're in a creative field, right? Enjoy. How I used to feel about my architecture degrees, until I blocked them out of my mind. Life of an architecture student. Whether you choose to find the humor in difficult times or not, choose wisely. Choose friends, choose fun, choose health, choose to relax, choose yourself. You only live once, so you may as well enjoy part of it, despite the pressures evident in the English architectural education system. Other side effects may include depression, anxiety, feelings of worthlessness, and long-term student debt. So I've taken you through my manifesto, and the essay is more based on the mental health and financial implications of doing an architecture degree, discussing student loans and debt, cost of living, working in practice, return on investment, effects of stress, unhealthy work habits, the length of study, university comparisons, and a case study for the London School of Architecture as an example of change. There can also be a lack of practical training for what you need to know when you actually go into practice. In addition, because a lot of your finances can go towards printing and portfolios, you may have to live in less than ideal circumstances, which is an unfortunate side effect of being an architecture student. I will make a separate video about how much architects earn in the UK and US and how that compares to other professions with similar lengths of study and training. I'm not going to read you through my entire essay, and as I've said before, I clearly have a biased view on the architectural education system. There are definitely arguments for how good it is and all of the value you can gain from an architecture education, which I do truly understand. This video was meant to be more of a humorous outlet for some of the side effects of being an architecture student. Also, this bias was clear in my manifesto and essay, and probably why I got a C on the paper. While I make jokes, a lot of what I said is true, and there are many difficulties that I have personally faced and seen many of my friends struggle with. In my experiences and observations, these unhealthy patterns of working long and late hours are glorified and encouraged in the architectural education system as well as some businesses. While these habits are not encouraged by all tutors, professors, or businesses, it is generally accepted as a reality of the architecture profession. I believe in a work-life balance, and honestly, I'm still trying to break some bad habits that I learned in my bachelor's degree. We really need to be kinder to ourselves, especially when we are struggling and under a lot of pressure. There has been an increase in mental health support for students doing architecture education in recent years, which is great. But those services focus on mainly addressing the symptoms created by the course, rather than focusing on the root cause of those symptoms. I don't have a specific answer as to what that root cause may be. Is it the spaces, the course structure, the length of the course, the review process, the people? I know the answer for my own root cause, but would not presume to guess what areas affected others in my position. I think architecture courses and the wider architecture community need to consider if their systems are doing more harm than good, and if there are any improvements that can be made. We as designers try and create spaces that are safe, healthy, and welcoming to the end user. So why do we not create those spaces for ourselves during our education? I'm hoping to share more architecture content in a lighthearted, fun way to help incoming students prepare for the stresses and workload of the lengthy architecture course ahead of them. If you made it to the end of this video, I hope you didn't take any of the jokes that I made too personally, and I hope you're okay. Comedy has been one of the ways that I've dealt with the struggles over the past 10 years, so I wanted to show that a little bit in this video, but I can assure you my videos will be more upbeat and positive in the future. It is up to each of us to draw the line when unhealthy habits start to appear, and make an active decision to put our health above our course, which I did not always follow. As always, be kind to each other, Most importantly, be kind to yourself. I love you, boo. And have a great day. Bye.